welcome to episode 23 of the Classic Rock Podcast. For those about to pod, we salute Yule. See what I did there, Brian?
I did.
In this episode, we go back on Santa's Slades to 2015. Good luck, Brian.
Thanks.
We look under the Christmas tree for hidden presents. They're not gems this week.
All right.
See what I did there again? And we're going to provide you with a Christmas rock playlist for your Christmas party with our classic Christmas crackers. So without further ado, here's a man that's never on the naughty list. Here's Brian.
Are we doing our Christmas episode, Matt?
Yes.
You've seen.
Did you notice by all that Christmas shenanigans?
Exactly. You dropped in many, many hints. I'm on it now. I'm on it. I'm wearing my Christmas jumper.
And everyone who listens to this after Christmas, we hope you had a nice Christmas and a happy New Year. But for now, so we're recording this a few days before Christmas. In fact, it's World Rush Day tomorrow. Did you know that?
No.
It's 21/12 tomorrow, which is World Rush Day. So we're recording this on the 20th of December, by the way. And if you're using the correct date format, tomorrow is 21/12, which is World Rush Day. So I, for one, would be listening to Rush all day. I know our friend Johnny Milner won't be, and I'm sure you will have the odd little indulgence.
I'll have an odd little indulgence, and our good pal Matt has probably been listening to Rush since probably last Thursday.
Well, let's not name check everyone. We know.
Because we could name all 12 of our listeners. Exactly.
Just about 13. But yes. So anyway, yes, Christmas special 2021. So what has caught your eye in the news, Brian?
Mate, we are in the wrong...
It's news. So we do that, don't we? We do news first.
Do news.
And then we go on to other stuff, from what I remember. Anyway, news time.
News time. Well, you and me are in the wrong business. We are in the wrong... We need to... I know it's a bit late now, but we need to get into the songwriting business because...
Oh, yeah.
And this has been a theme throughout our many, many, many episodes of our wonderful little podcast.
Yes.
Mr. Springsteen appears to have sold his entire catalogue for £500 million.
£500 million. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I think it was dollars, actually. $500 million. I mean, what do you do with that money? $500 million. What do you do? I mean, knowing the boss, you know, might buy a new T-shirt and some jeans and everything, maybe a new Telecaster. But, I mean, what do you do with $500 million?
I know.
Jeez.
It's frightening. Honestly, it's frightening. And I love the boss. I love the E Street Band.
You call him we established quite early, I think it was episode 2, that you call him the boss.
He's the boss.
Don't you? Dear the boss.
Dear the boss. Yeah, so there you go. Happy Christmas to the boss. $500 million richer.
I know. It's Sony Music, isn't it? They're the ones that are buying all these artists' kind of back catalogue, I suppose you could say, and the rights to them. Motley Crue, a couple of weeks before, sold theirs. It wasn't quite for the same amount of money. It was it was like $150 million or something like that. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
I may be wrong on that figure, but, you know, I just think, wow. And, you know, we speculated first time round, but I think it was Neil Young sold his and Stevie Nicks has sold hers.
Bob Dylan.
Maybe it was Bob Dylan, not Neil Young.
No, he has. Neil Young sold his as well.
Okay. You think, well, where is Sony getting all this money from? I suppose they're a huge empire. And B, I mean, how are they going to recoup it? I suppose they've got these rights in perpetuity, as we say, but just a ridiculous amount of money, isn't it? Really? But, you know, I suppose you're right. Yeah, I mean, if you can write a hit song, talking of hit songs, quickly. So in Britain, the song that's probably the most famous Christmas song is Merry Christmas, Everybody by a band called Slade, which we'll come on to later, won't we, Brian? Probably in our top 10 Christmas crackers for for your Christmas parties and New Year parties.
Yeah.
But the writers of that, Noddy Holder and Jim Lee, they get a royalty check for £500,000 every year.
You're kidding?
No. So if you can write a song, write a Christmas song, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Because it's played in shops and on radios and
write a good one. Write a good one.
Write a good one. Which essentially is the plot for that film. Do you remember that sort of film about a boy with Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
He lived off the income from his dad's Christmas song. But anyway, by the by. Anyway, $500 million. And, well, talking of money, while we're on the subject, and we do like an auction on the old podcast, don't we? But one of Paul McCartney's, I know you're a big Paul McCartney fan,
yep.
Beatles fan. One of Paul McCartney's basses was recently sold at auction. Now, we often think about these auction numbers, don't we? We think, well, is that justified? I'm not sure about this one because it's not Paul McCartney's famous violin-shaped bass.
Hofner bass.
Thank you. I knew you'd know with your limited music knowledge. Paul McCartney's, it's not his famous Hofner bass. I don't know where is that? But this is one of Paul McCartney's Yamaha BB 1200 basses, and it was sold at auction for £375,000, which is about $420,000. We always need to convert things into dollars for our vast American listenership, of course. Okay. It's Paul McCartney. It's a bass. I mean, so, fair enough. And the auction was actually for charity. It was organised by The Edge from U2, and it goes to help the plight of an organisation called Benefit Musicians in the Gulf South.
All right.
Which because of course, as we know, the pandemic has had an effect on, well, everyone really, of course, but people that earn their living through performing and making music have clearly had an effect on them, and indeed many other forms of the arts, of course. But that was nice, and it was part of an auction. But I thought that's another staggering figure.
Oh.
But it was, it is Paul McCartney. Is he, in your opinion, is he the most famous bass player there's ever been? Must be up there. I didn't prepare you for that question, did I?
Well, I'm gonna most famous bass player.
I didn't think you need to even think about it. But
I'd probably say I would probably say he is, but he's not half followed by Lemmy. You know what I mean?
You can't put Lemmy and Paul McCartney in the same bracket.
But as an iconic bass player, Rickenbacker, and I'm not talking about. We're not comparing catalogues of music here. You said who's the greatest bass player.
No, not the greatest bass player, but he was in the Beatles, for God's sake. I mean, Lemmy, God love him, he was in Motorhead and Hawkwind and the whatever, the Singing Vickers or whatever they were called.
I'm not going to get myself out of this, am I?
It's no. Paul McCartney must be I would say the most well-known. Let's say the most well-known bass player ever. Everyone knows Paul McCartney.
Yeah, he's a bit. Yeah, I'd give you that.
No one knows Lemmy, to be fair.
So I take it then in the news this week. Which side of the fence are you on when Biff Bifford came out and said, Wheels of Steel is greater than Number of the Beast?
I saw that actually. Yeah, as a kind of a Nawabum album. I think he's quite justified in saying that in a way, because it is it's probably globally not as well known as Number of the Beast, which was the sort of probably the album that broke Maiden globally. But I think he's got a point. I think he's got a case. It's a very bold statement to make, but why not? I think it's certainly done Biff well over the years, and the guys in Saxon.
Yeah.
It's a good album. They did in fact, I think Saxon, that kind of 3 albums they did kind of almost back to back in the what was it, 1980, 81, Denim and Leather, Strong Arm of the Law rather, and of course Wheels of Steel. I mean, wow, what a set of 3 albums. Then topped off with The Eagle Has Landed from 82 that we mentioned. I mean, some great stuff. So I think as a collective piece of work, yeah, they were probably on a par with Maiden in those days. Absolutely,
they were, and the fact that it's one of those albums. I remember the record label, the French record label that
Carrera.
Carrera.
That's right. Yeah.
You're looking at your albums going, oh, it's if you're on Vertigo, Thin Lizzy were on Vertigo, and you're going. So anybody else that was, signed to Vertigo, Sabbath were on Vertigo. So
that's right.
Obviously, when we used to go into record stores and you were looking at artists and you were going, oh, who's signed to EMI or Polydor, or you would check things out.
We cared for some reason in those days, didn't we? we knew who was on. Priest were on CBS, I think, for example, and as you say, Maiden were on EMI and Diamond Head were on MCA. You just, for some reason, you knew the labels.
Yeah.
You're right. They were on Carrera, Tia Carrera. It was her dad, wasn't it? No, it was Carrera Records out of France. Yeah, strange coupling, but
exactly,
worked out right. Tony Iommi.
Where are you going? Tony Iommi, full stop.
Tony Iommi. Just sort of mentioned Tony Iommi. So Tony Iommi, who we love. I mean, he's the godfather of metal, isn't he? If there wasn't Tony Iommi, well, we probably wouldn't be sitting here, Brian, would we really?
No.
We'd be sitting somewhere else. We wouldn't be sitting here, but we wouldn't be talking to each other. Now, Tony Iommi famously almost invented heavy metal. He was working and playing guitar, but cut his tops of his fingers off and then had to detune his guitar and use different types of strings and so on. It's been well documented. But anyway, Tony Iommi, God love him, has brought out a perfume, which I think I was quite surprised at that. The godfather of metal has brought out a perfume, and it's accompanied by a song. It's an instrumental song called Scent of Dark. It's got a really good name. It's a good song, actually. But I can imagine when he said it's the smell of metal, the smell of heavy metal. And I thought, well, to me, the smell of heavy metal back in the day was like sweaty armpits, cigarettes, booze, patchouli oil, and leather and denim. I'm not sure I wanted that in a bottle. Thank you very much. But anyway, Tony Iommi, God love him. I've invented this thing called Scent of Dark. It's great. I like it.
And obviously in breaking news, Tony's obviously has also said, don't write off a reunion. Exactly. Don't write off more Black Sabbath shows.
More Black Sabbath shows. Yeah.
The end of the end of the end, but kind of might be coming back.
Yeah. Now, there's a really good interview with him on Planet Rock Radio. If you get access to it, it's a couple of hours, and he's very entertaining, Tony Iommi. But he's brought out a perfume. Now, he's not the first person to bring out odd kind of merch. I know KK Downing a couple of years ago brought out KK Downing's whatever he called it, aftershave or something, and of course Kiss just about put their name against anything. I'm sure they've done perfume and aftershave and toilet cleaner and God knows what. But I was quite surprised that the godfather of metal, and it made me think actually. We refer to him as the godfather of metal, of course. Mm. We refer to Rob Halford from Priest as the metal god. We refer to Ozzy as the Prince of Darkness. Everyone seems to have a nickname in rock, don't they? And you think, well, if I was like someone like Geezer Butler, I'd be like, well, hang on, I was there. Can I have a name? Can I have a nickname, please? Like the godson of metal, or the
bottom end of metal.
Exactly. it doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? As you say, the rhythm section of metal.
The rhythm god.
Exactly. We anyway. I was just thinking. So yeah, Tony Iommi. Good luck with the. If you're listening, Tony. Good luck with Scent of Dark, and the song's good. Yeah, stick it on the old playlist, please, Brian. Scent of Dark, which is it's quite heavy. You got to turn it up to 11 to appreciate it.
Yeah. You haven't bought it to me for Christmas.
No,
that's okay.
No,
I haven't done that. I haven't bought.
I haven't bought you the single or anything like that.
No, it's all right.
So, other news?
Yeah. Well, look, we know it's coming to the end of the year, and certainly here in the UK, we're kind of lots of gigs and lots of tours that were scheduled for the back end of the year are being sort of sadly postponed into next year. But one of the interesting bands have been doing online gigs, etc. Metallica did their 40th anniversary shows in San Francisco just at the weekend, and it's going to be shown on here in the UK on Prime, Amazon Prime Video, but it'll be available through other streaming services. But what was frightening, Matt, is tickets. You could actually go to the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a ticket only. If you remember the Metallica fan club, tickets for the first night show were changing hands from up to $500 to $1,400.
Wow.
Just frightening. But you'll be pleased, and you need to watch. Not that I'm going to spoil the show for you. You need to watch the second show,
right?
Because they play that song. By that band that we don't mention anymore.
You mean "Am I Evil" by Diamond Head?
Yes. There we go.
Well, I wouldn't expect anything less, actually. Frankly.
And it was very good. I watched it.
Good.
I thought they did.
I'm
really
looking forward to it. Yeah. They are, of course, big Diamond Head fans. Talking of tours, by the way, so you're very excited because that other band we're not supposed to talk about so much, King's X, are coming to Britain. And we're going, aren't we?
Going?
Not till next year, mind you. I think. Well, I'm going to one of them anyway.
Yes.
You're going to all of them.
No, I'm not going to all. I'm going to 5 of them.
Okay.
I'm going to 5. I know
it's still dedication.
It is.
It's still dedication.
It is.
And good on you.
And the band, one of the bands that we featured on one of our early shows, and I never thought we'd ever get to see him live, was the Adrian Smith, Richie Kotzen.
I know. I'm very excited about that.
That's going to be fabulous to see Adrian singing.
Indeed, you're going to Glasgow. I'm going to London in March. All being well, they go ahead. Of course.
Yeah.
You never know.
And the final one for me, if I may.
Sorry. Yes.
No. The final one for me is, and as much as Christmas is coming, and I hope everybody has been. Obviously, Matt has officially now said that I have not been on the lot list, so I'm available for all Christmas presents from all of our listeners. But on the 29th...
Well, that was a nice little hint there, wasn't it? Anything Thin Lizzy related.
Anything Thin Lizzy related that I haven't
Brian
got.
Mailey, Edinburgh, that'll get to
Exactly. But on the 29th of March next year, one of my favourite albums is being re-released, re-recorded, getting the full special edition treatment, and it is the band's Last Waltz. So the Last Waltz by the band is being there's a special edition coming out on the 29th of March next year, and it's Robbie Robertson and Martin Scorsese directed the film, so it'll be absolutely top notch, and that is something to look forward to for next year. So that was all my news. What about you?
Very, very good. Well, I need to finish off on. So do you remember when we a couple of episodes ago we had a little competition?
We did.
Do you remember that? It was it's quite fun, wasn't it? Doing a competition. We should do one again at some point when the mood takes us. But anyway, so the competition for those that can't remember that far back, which is me included. No, we did what was it? That was right. Desert Island Disc albums.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, our winner that we picked almost randomly was William Stonia from England.
Hey.
Hello, William. I think that's how you pronounce your name. William Stonia. And he promises to send us a picture of himself or his daughter, because I think he might be giving it to his daughter for Christmas as a main present. And that's it. I thought it was a bit cheap, actually. So he wins this book, and then he just says, that's what I'm giving my daughter for Christmas. I said, well, anything else? She said no. He said she wanted a bike. And he said, I've given her a current book instead. No, I'm sure that's not the case. It's not the case. But we look forward to seeing a picture of Will Stonia using the colouring book for fun on Christmas Day. So there you go. That was the... and thank you for everyone else who entered, by the way. We appreciate it. Sorry, Mark Burillo. Mark Burillo from one of our listeners in New Jersey sent some great albums. But sadly, it wasn't you, Mark, because it would cost too much to send it to New Jersey.
So was the kicker for you the fact that did Will actually come and pick it up, Matt, so that you didn't have to post it?
No, I sent it to him.
All right, okay.
No, I'm joking about that, Mark. I would have sent it to you, of course.
It's all right.
New Jersey in America. I just thought I'd mention that just to show we've got these kind of global listenerships. So someone else in the Arctic Circle entered, and someone else in the Antarctica also entered. But they didn't win. Right, where were we? So, anyway, last time, in time-honored fashion, you were handed on a silver platter the year 2015.
Oh, yeah.
To reminisce about, to take us back to those heady days, pre-COVID. Brexit was still going on. Geez, those are the days, weren't they? Yeah. 6 years ago, 2015.
I know, it makes me feel old, you know. You look, 2015. My year in rock 2015, and Matt goes, how old were you? And I go, 44. I was 27.
Exactly. I was 15. That was last time. So, what did I say? 2015.
Yeah.
Right.
Good. Thank you.
For a change, you're welcome. You normally grumble about the years I give you.
Exactly.
And I look forward to what year you're going to give me later. But there you go.
Yeah. So the year that was 2015. So great year for touring. I was looking through my ticket stubs that I have on the wall. And just some.
Are you really?
Yeah, I've got all my ticket stubs are on my wall. Yeah.
Oh, well, good on you.
Yeah. So obviously everybody was touring in 2015. I got to see Europe with Black Star Riders as a double bill, which was started the year in March. Total came back. Total played in Glasgow, did a fabulous set. I got to meet the band. I did the whole meet and greet. Yeah.
Did you?
I met Steve Lukather.
Nice guys.
Fabulous guys. Unfortunately, I got stuck in traffic and I didn't get a chance to change into my rock gear. So I ran to the meet and greet in a suit. So I'm basically standing with Steve Lukather, David Paish, and Joseph Williams, and I look like an accountant. And I don't look very rock.
Can you put that picture on the Facebook page, please?
I certainly will do, Matthew.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Faith No More. Got to see Faith No More that year. Incendiary band live. They played Glasgow. I think it was the weekend before they played Downloads. They did like I think they were. I don't know if they may have headlined it or maybe special guests, but they played in Glasgow and they were just a phenomenal band. I saw The Who. I saw AC/DC at Hampden with Brian Johnson, and it was the first Rambling Man Fair to give it its full title.
Oh yeah, so it was.
Yes,
we were so excited about that, weren't we? Because we'd been to that High Voltage Festival, and this was like, it's back. It's got a different name, a different location, but it's back, and it really was very similar, wasn't it? the old Rambling Man Fair down in Maidstone in Kent. Yeah, it was, blimey, it seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels a lot longer than 6 years. But when you look back at the bill, Scorpions and the headliners and just the festival and in the years it was going, just it grew quickly. Scorpions, Greg Allman were the opening act. I remember bands, staple bands who always put a great set in. FM were there. I got to see Toesland was the first time I'd seen them. They were great.
Great band.
They were good.
Great band.
So it was great on the Saturday, and then I think I went back to Scotland, and it just rained on you incessantly for the rest of the day.
It did. It was suntan weather on the Saturday, and weather for ducks on the Sunday.
It was.
Yeah. Any albums from that year, Brian, that you may have bought?
Absolutely, albums that year. My album of the year, if you were to ask me in 2015, was, and you mentioned them actually last show when.
Diamond Head.
No, it wasn't Diamond Head. It was the Dead Daisleys.
The Dead Daisleys.
Sorry, it's not breaking news. Bob Daisley is still with us.
Thankfully.
It's the Dead Daisies album, which they recorded with John Corabi, which is called Revolution. And the opening track on it, which will be on the playlist, is a track called Mexico that Matt mentioned was played when the Dead Daisies were playing a couple of weeks ago. It's a great album. Enough said on that. Go and check out Dead Daisies Revolutions. Other albums that were released in 2015, Black Star Riders. They brought out their second album, which was The Killer Instinct. I'll put one of the great tracks on it is a track called Charlie, I Gotta Go. They were just getting into the swing of things. Black Star Riders' first album was very, very Lizzy. There's quite a lot of the twin guitars and stuff. The second album was just a little bit more, they're finding their own sound. It's a great, great album. Really strong album. Def Leppard brought out their album Def Leppard.
They did.
They did. Again,
featuring on guitar, of course, our man, Sir Vivian
Campbell, and he sings lead vocals.
Yes,
they all sang lead vocals on a track called "We Belong."
That's right, but they did, didn't they? Yeah. I remember that. It was all right.
It was all right,
they could all sing, can't they? That helps.
It does.
Of course. Imagine if one of them was tone deaf and made a mess of it. Sorry, Rick. It's not happening.
Yeah. So they and it's a very, very strong album. There's the opening two tracks, Let's Go and Dangerous, set it up pretty well. It's Def Leppard. It's a well produced album. As you know, during the 2000s and the 2010s, Matt, I am a big fan of Frontier Records and all of the little projects that they all put together.
When are you getting your annual royalty check for mentioning them so much?
I just like a T-shirt.
It's getting embarrassing.
It's a T-shirt. So obviously, I'm a massive fan of George Lynch, who's the guitar player in Dokken, and he put out an album with the lead singer out of Stryper, who obviously Stryper are famously known for being, probably the most prominent Christian metal band of all time. Michael Sweet is the singer, and now Michael Sweet replaced Brad Delp in Boston for a while when they did some reunion shows. Michael sang, so Michael has got the high vocals. Sweet and Lynch put an album out, and in fact, they've done a couple of albums. The album is called Only to Rise, and the two tracks I'll put on the playlist, one's called Rescue Me, and the other one's called The Wish. It's a bizarre, on paper, it's a bizarre combination, but it sounds really, really good. And that, to me, I could pick out a few other albums. I know you've got a few as well too.
Yeah,
but those are some of my albums for 2015. So really good year. Yeah, it was quite.
It was a great year actually. I went to see quite a few gigs. Saw Judas Priest, Brixton. Saw Joe Satriani in London. He's good.
Oh, I
Good
love
guitar
Joe
player.
Satch. Yeah.
Now you play the guitar a little bit. I know that, not very well.
Well,
but
you told everybody last week I was a member of Whitesnake, so
Well, that's true, but he's a good guitarist, and of course, famously, he was a member of Deep Purple for a while, wasn't he? I think Joe Satch.
he did. He helped them
Did I
out.
imagine that? It was true,
No,
wasn't it?
He did. He wouldn't join them though.
Oh, is that right?
No, he basically he helped them do the tour. I love doing the tour. I'm not sure whether they offered them the gig, but I think Joe's solo career was just taking off. It's about mid-90s, and he declined. But he said he would tour with them, and he had a ball.
Yeah, I can imagine. Saw Night Ranger. Now, on a rare visit to the UK, I know they tour a lot in the US, and they've done some great songs, haven't they? You Can Still Rock in America. Of course, the ubiquitous Sister Christian, which I'm only saying these because they're great songs. I think go on the playlist.
I'm trying very hard not to go Motorhead.
but you did.
Sorry.
It's a good story, that song, actually. It's about his, I forget the name of the drummer who wrote it, but it's about his sister, Christine. And he changed the name around. And motoring, I think, is just going for a drive with a guy. Which is nice. I think it's quite nice. It's a bit sightseeing.
Exactly. It's sounds
go
more
around
better than road tripping.
That's right. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? I also saw Thunder. Now, Thunder, one of my albums of the year was Wonder Days by Thunder. It was their comeback album. They split up, came back, recorded a new album, and it is end to end. It's a great album. Wonder Days. It's got the title track which they opened with in those days. I don't know, they might still do actually, and they've got Resurrection Day, which is about, as you mentioned earlier, the Ben Matthews had recovered from cancer, well, he actually wasn't on the album, was he?
No,
but,
he didn't. They
wrote a song about him. By the time they'd record the album, he'd recovered from cancer. God bless him. So they wrote Resurrection Day about that. When the music played, is a classic kind of Luke Morley autobiographical song. When he was a kid, listened to music on the radio and buying vinyl. Listen to it. It's a song that we can all relate to. Anyone who grew up in the 70s, 80s can certainly relate to it. And then I Love the Weekend. I mean, wow. I mean, says it all, doesn't it, really? But yeah, they're really good. A really good band. And this is a brilliant comeback album for them. And that was my 2015, Brian. It was a good year, as you say.
It was. And you know what? Just I'll tag this on just very, very, very on the Thunder side of things. Thunder actually released they actually released a live album called Live at the Brooklyn Bowl.
That's right. Oh, it's great,
isn't it? It's just.
That was going to be my hidden gem this week.
It was not.
Not really. It's got some great songs, isn't it? It's got Be Good to Yourself, the old Thank You Miller song,
and the rocker,
Up Around the Bend, the rocker. Yeah, got to put them on. Up Around the Bend,
all right.
Be Good to Yourself, and the rocker. It's a great version, isn't it? Because they're big Thin Lizzy fans. I think Danny Bowes freely admits when he was young, the band he saw the most was Thin Lizzy, and that would have been the 70s with various of the classic 70s lineups. But it's a really good album, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
We should have saved that for a hidden gem, shouldn't we? Never mind. So that was 2015, Brian. It was a good year. It's a good year. So in time or fashion, I must stop saying that. You've got to give me a year for next time. To waffle my way through it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to a year of your youth.
Really?
Yeah. 2004.
Oh, right, okay. That is my youth, of course. Yeah, I was very young in 2004. All right, thank you, Brian. I shall.
I'm going to keep you off the 80s for a while.
Yeah, probably just as well, really. Yeah. I need to share the pain of the 2000s with you.
Yeah.
No, I look forward to that for next time,
Yes.
which will be our review of 2021 and our forward view of 2022, of course. So when we were putting this together, it being Christmas time, of course, the holiday period, we thought it'd be a good idea to just put together a very quick list of top 10 party bangers. Now, that's what the kids say, isn't it, Brian? Bangers. I think I like the kids. We talked about the kids last couple of episodes, didn't we? What are the kids doing? Have you heard from the kids?
No. I think the kids are playing on their Xbox.
More than likely.
Or watching something about squids on Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, indeed. We thought we'd put together a list of Christmas crackers. How about that?
I've got this vision in my head of you and me. It's a Christmas party, and you and me at the, at the decks with the singles ready. And you put your single on, and I'm like, I'm going to trump you now, and I'm going to put my single on.
Yeah. Well, these are a bit like that, actually. So picture the scene. You're at the rock disco, and these come on, and everyone's up, jumping around, having a good time. Maybe they've had a couple of glasses of sherry or mulled wine, and these are our Christmas bangers. Our Christmas, I can't say that. It doesn't sound right. Our Christmas crackers. Yeah, there you go. Right. So I'm gonna kind of do them in reverse order. So I'm gonna go sort of. You're gonna do one. I'm gonna do one. Okay. We've done all this. We've done this rubbish before, haven't we? When right. What have you got for
this? This is groundbreaking broadcasting, Matthew. Two guys making lists virtually.
Indeed, it's never been done before.
Never
been done before. With one bloke in the middle of Surrey and the other one in Edinburgh. I'm sure that's never been done before, specifically. Right. Anyway, after you.
The first song to get everybody in the dance floor, and I
love the way you set the scene. So I can just picture it now. Yeah. The lights gone down, or maybe we're all there. When I was young, I said to my wife this the other day. When I was young, like a child in the 70s, we used to go to the Tuesday night disco at the Thetford, the Redcastle Firs Community Centre, and it was probably 75, 76, and the treat was buying a bottle in a glass bottle of Coke.
Oh man,
Coca-Cola. And he used to like look forward to that. I think it was 10p or something like that. Bottle of Coke, and then listen to the the music of the time.
So the key thing is when you've got your first track on the disco, you want a song which has got an intro, which means if you're sitting chatting to your mates, or if you've been lucky enough to be with your girlfriend,
or boyfriend,
you want to have that motif that goes, all right, I've got enough time from the intro to get on to the dance floor before it starts. So the first track I had, the first track
you want to get on there so you can sing along with the vocals.
Exactly, you've got to have it.
Oh, I see.
So I'm opening up. I'm opening up the disco with "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses.
Great tune. And I think it fulfills the criteria. Everyone knows it, and you can scream your head off at the chorus, can't you?
Badly,
but you can do it all the same, can't you? That's good. That's a good start, actually, because it's a slow burner, isn't it?
It is.
Sweet Child of Mine, and everyone's singing like that. Yeah, oh, sweet child. Yeah, I went to a wedding a few years ago, and my mate, which is my friend's wedding, and I have this picture of myself with my tie tied around my head. It was a wedding, so I was wearing a suit and tie. And I'd take my tie up and tie it around my head, and there was me on the dance floor singing along to that. So I've been there. It's great. It's a good start, Brian.
Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna see your Sweet Child of Mine. I'm gonna raise you Crazy, Crazy Nights by Kiss. Could have gone with many songs by Kiss. Could have gone with Rock and Roll All Night, Party All Day. But I thought at our age, it's a bit difficult, isn't it, really? Because, you know, rock and roll all night, maybe, but party all day as well. It's a tall order, you know. So I thought I'd go with Crazy, Crazy Nights, because that's quite, you know, wide. It could be like, yeah, but a crazy night. What time did you go to bed? 10:30. But it was a crazy night up until the time I went to bed.
Because you had to go back. You had to go back to your room and watch Match of the Day.
Well, that's true, indeed. I had to get back for Match of the Day. So I'm going to go with Crazy, Crazy Nights as my opener.
Oh man. So you've done Crazy, Crazy Nights.
Not many, but one or two. Yeah,
No, one or two. I now am gonna again stick with a early '80s song, and again, it's another song that nobody can sing. But when we all get round in a circle, we all think we can sing this song, and it is the Graham Bonnet classic, "Since You've Been Gone."
Oh yeah, written by Russ Ballard, of course, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Russ. Did I say Russ Ballard? I meant Russ Ballard.
Yes.
It's difficult to hear with these headphones on.
I know. I surrender.
We've got all the tech going on, haven't we? That's a killer tune, isn't it? Since you've been, I think I told you when I was young, I went to see Motorhead at West Runton Pavilion. I've got a story for all these songs, trust me. And I went to see Motorhead at West Runton Pavilion. I think it was about 1981, 82. And over the PA, they played this song. And there was this really massive punk guy, leather jacket, black hair, and he was kind of singing the solo in "Since You've Been Gone," and I always remember that. But yeah, it's a great tune. Well, I'm going to raise you your. I keep saying that. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to see your. What was it? "Since You've Been Gone."
Yeah.
And I'm going to raise you a song, which is, I would say, a classic, an absolute modern classic, by the great Journey from the Escape album.
Who's crying?
And that's that song. I think it's an anthem. It is an anthem. It's officially an anthem. Don't stop believing. It's "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey, featuring probably one of the greatest vocalists ever in Steve Perry. In fact, we had that as a hidden gem a few episodes ago, didn't we? The live in Houston live CD. But yeah, wow,
Matthew.
Don't Stop Believing.
That's a very limited category of singer. Whenever you said in the category of he's the greatest singer in the category of Steve Perry.
Oh, did I? I mean, in American singers, or even rock singers. Did I say that?
We're keeping that in. We've created.
I do that before I listen back to the podcast. I think, what did that mean?
You've created a brand new vocal genre, Steve Perry.
Steve Perry is one of the greatest rock vocalists ever, American or otherwise.
Yes.
And I defy anyone to tell me otherwise.
Oh man. Do you know if you and me were on the dance floor at this point after these songs, neither of us would be able to sing anymore.
Well, it's true, actually.
We would be taking turns. We'd be like, you're singing the next one. So you've just done "Don't Stop Believing." Are we going to keep cranking it up, or are we going to see? I'm going to go with you
want a slow one?
I'm going to go for a slow, fast one.
No, go on then.
I'm going with Bohemian.
Bow Rap.
I'm going with Bow Rap because you've just done. I'm not going to sing it.
It's a good one. You can have a little breather.
You can have a little breather. You can do. Everybody's doing "Mama" and da 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 da.
Yeah.
You can have a wee break, and then everybody's.
I think that's an absolute inspired choice because you've got the slow bit.
Yeah.
As you say, and then you've got the Wayne's World bit at the end where you can all go nuts. One of my favourite clips ever from Facebook is I think it was at a Green Day gig at Hyde Park in London, and it's shot from behind the stage. It's quite a famous piece. We'll put it on the Facebook page if it's still around. But the whole of the Hyde Park audience, which is about 60,000 people or thereabouts, are singing, and it's just spine-tingling, goosebump, hairs on the back of your neck time. This whole audience is singing word for word Bohemian Rhapsody, and it's just beautiful. It's amazing. The collective voices of all these people are just incredible. That's a great choice, Brian. That is a good choice. Right. So I'm going to go with AC/DC. We couldn't leave AC/DC out of this list as Christmas crackers. Those songs that get you up on your feet, jumping up and down. Everyone knows the words, and AC/DC have done loads of them. And I was toying with going with "You Shook Me All Night Long," but I thought I'd go with "A Long Way to the Top." If you want to rock and roll.
I had it on my list. I had "You Shook Me" on my list as well.
Oh, there you go. Well, either will do. "You Shook Me All Night Long," of course, is my karaoke party piece. But "A Long Way to the Top," inspired by I saw School of Rock recently, again for the 50th time, and of course it's famously in there right at the end. So my number 4 is "A Long Way to the Top," if you want to rock and roll, by the mighty AC/DC.
Oh man, what a... So
we can have some honorable mentions, by the way, because I've got loads more on my list.
I thought you might have. So we haven't. Whenever I was talking about Queen, I felt I need something. I'm going to finish off with a gang vocal one, but probably, as you said, "Don't Stop Believing." In my head, the next song that I had to be in the next few tunes that followed it.
I know what you're going to say.
Am I going to say "Here I Go Again" by Whitesnake?
No. I guess wrong. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it, if it were that in tuned? I think I'd say "More Than a Feeling" by Boston. Actually.
I know. I had that down on my list, but I just thought, come on, everybody's been going, "Don't Stop Believing," and come on, you've got it. "Here I Go Again." And it's got to be the 1987 version. As much as I love the Saints and Sinners version,
overproduced, but good all the same.
There you go.
No, I think it's good.
"Here I Go Again."
It's very good indeed. Well, my number 1, in a similar vein, from the same era, actually, give or take. Now, this is a song it's got the constituent elements. It's got a slow start. It's got you can just have a little gentle groove to the first opening bars, but the chorus and the key change. It's got a key change, which I think is quite important. "Crazy Crazy Nights" by Kiss has got a key change, and this song's got a key change. Which, if you can sing along with the key change, then you're a better singer than I am. And you're a singer, Brian. You're okay. You're not very good, but you're okay. Now, Brian's a very good singer. I'm doing him a disservice. He's very good. For the record, he's a very good guitarist, very good singer. But I'm going with, from the Slippery When Wet album, "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi as my number 1 party, on your feet, couple of drinks, sing along with the chorus, try and sing through the key change. "Living on a Prayer," Christmas cracker, party anthem.
Oh man! Does your eyes water?
Does my eyes?
Does your eyes water whenever even if you're in the car or you're at home or you're at your local discotheque?
Drinking my bottle of Coke.
When you're at your local discotheque or at an open mic, whenever that key change comes,
it's a killer, isn't it?
It's bless them. It's it's a real David Coverdale moment where the audience take over
thankfully.
the singing for John.
Thankfully, most of the ladies, because they're the only ones who can hit that note, or the choir boys that are in the audience, could hit those ridiculous notes. As a killer tune. Honourable mentions, Brian? What have you got in your honourable mentions list? Because I've got a few.
Have you? Things. I believe in a thing called love.
Great shout. I went to see The Darkness a few weeks ago at Leeds, and in that song, Justin Hawkins encourages the audience to bounce. So normally you just have your gentle knee, but we were jumping up and down, and it was quite hard work. Mm-hmm. Me and a few of my mates, Kelvin, Richard, Johnny, Joe, we were actually jumping up and down. It was great. That was a good tune. Great tune.
Yeah.
Another ridiculous vocal that no one could sing, of course.
Exactly. One that I'm just thinking about, Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, good song. Good song.
I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett.
Yeah, that's a great tune. Great tune. Well, I'm going to go with Banging on Your Stereo by the Massive Wagons, my new favourite band. It's a great song. Stick it on the playlist, the Christmas playlist. Banging on your stereo. So I can't even resist singing it. I'm going to also go with Africa by Toto, and I'll tell you why. All right, it's an interesting story. So my daughter, when she was at Portsmouth, hi Georgia, and Olivia and Sam, by the way, my daughter Georgia, when she was at Portsmouth University, every 6 months they had an 80s night. Now, bearing in mind that all these kids, all these young people, were born in the late 90s, nowhere near the 80s, but these 80s nights were massively popular, and the biggest sing-along song, and she sent me some video of it once. The biggest sing-along song amongst these like 300-400 students in the student union was Africa by Toto. And for that reason alone, I'm going to stick it on the Christmas cracker list.
My work is done. Matt has started to quote Toto back to me.
Indeed.
There we go.
And that's it. That's our party. I think that's a good list. I would be very happy with that at a Christmas party.
I wouldn't sing a gig after it, mind. I wouldn't. I'd take a full week off singing.
You couldn't resist, getting the old air guitar out, the electric air guitar.
Exactly.
Maybe some air drums, and of course singing along at the top of your voice.
Yes.
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Christmas crackers.
Christmas crackers. It sounds better when you say it, actually. What are they, Brian?
Christmas crackers. That's a cracker.
Oh, dear. Right. So that was a little bit of fun, bit of Christmas spirit. And yeah, everyone feel free to take them. I'm sure everyone would enjoy hearing them. Maybe having on the background on their Christmas or New Year get-togethers, socially distanced, of course, and adhering to COVID protocols. Right, so that brings us to there's a slight change this time, Brian.
Okay.
This once. You ready?
Yeah.
The part of the show that everyone looks forward to, of course, as we've said before, people tell me, stop me in the street. Complete strangers come up to me and say, I really enjoy that bit. And they say, I like Brian more than you. I think fair enough. And then they say, I really enjoy that bit at the end when you talk about your, in this case, hidden Christmas present time. Just this once.
Excellent.
Hashtag hidden Christmas present time.
Just rolls off the tongue. It's just
what hidden gem time.
It's part of your hidden franchise, isn't it?
Well, it is, and there's I gotta tell you, there's another sister podcast being put together as you speak, the Hidden Christmas Present Time podcast, which is coming out just for Christmas. Currently roaring up the charts, of course. Right, what while I make one up, Brian, what have you got for us?
So, isn't it interesting when you do your My Year in Rock, and you mentioned Thunder and their great album.
I did.
And obviously, Thunder split up in 2009 and then got back together in 2015 to record the album. So it just got me thinking, what did Luke do after Thunder split up?
Luke Morley.
Luke Morley, thank you. And Luke Morley, in 2009, put together a fabulous band. We got to see them a few times, which was a band called The Union. And The Union was put together by Luke and a fabulous singer called Pete Shoulder. Pete Shoulder has that Paul Rogers, Danny he's just got that English
Great
classic
singer.
rock vocalist. I saw him supporting. They played They actually
High Voltage. No,
played the High
yes.
Voltage. Yeah, they
They
played
did,
the High
yeah.
Voltage festival, but I saw them indoors supporting Whitesnake, and they were just tremendous. So my hidden gem, or my hidden Christmas present to you,
thanks.
is The Union's first album, The Union, from 2011. Fabulous album. They haven't broken up,
Oh, really?
No.
Not
I know
officially.
Pete. I know Pete Shoulder. Pete does some solo stuff, and he's got a band that he plays mainly in Europe, but he does get back home. He's a County Durham boy, so I know he gets back home now and again and plays some local gigs and stuff. But The Union is my hidden gem. Go and check the album out. I'll stick a couple of tracks on it. Yeah, great album.
Yeah, it is a good album. It's got a couple of really killer songs on it. Step Up to the Plate was wow. It's a really good song, and it was all over the place in 2011. Was it 10, 11, something like that?
Yeah.
My favorite song off the album is Easy Street. It's got a very hypnotic sort of chugging riff. Yeah, that's a good shout, Brian.
Yeah,
really good shout.
What are you going to trump me with this week?
Well, I'm going to go with a concert film. What's a concert film? Are they called them anymore? It's not Last Waltz, by the way, by the band, in case you're wondering. So I came across this, actually. I was watching Sky Arts TV channel a couple of weeks ago, and I came across this. And it's by a band we haven't really talked too much about in the last 23 episodes. Maybe we should. And this album is called, or this video is called Live from the Forum 2018, and it's by the Eagles. Now, it is. I mean, the Eagles. I've always been a kind of guilty pleasure of mine. Not as much guilty because they are a really good band. But this is the sort of the more modern era version of the Eagles, with Timothy B. Schmidt still in the band, and Don Henley and Joe Walsh, of course, joined by Deacon Frey, who's Glenn Frey's son, and Vince Gill, making up the the new version of the Eagles, and it is great. It's just hit after hit. One of these nights, Take It Easy, Take It to the Limit is on there, and that's what I've first turned on. And they also play some Joe Walsh songs in there. In the City's on there, and one or two other songs from Joe's kind of personal catalogue. Funk 49, for example, which I think is an old James
Gang track, yeah.
But it is great from end to end, and it's got Boys of Summer on there. as well, which is, of course, a Don Henley song. Life's Been Good, as I said. So many good songs on there. So my hidden gem this week, Ryan, is an album you can buy on a CD, also DVD. You can also stream it. Live from the Forum, 2018, from the Eagles. That is my Christmas present to you, Brian, and to all the 12 listeners, boys and girls that are listening. Enjoy.
Fabulous. I was lucky enough to see that tour.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I went to see them in Glasgow on that tour. Great. Yeah, Vince Gill and Deacon did a great job. Take It to the Limits is probably the highlight because Vince Gill sings that.
Yeah.
And it's just it's brilliant and yeah. Good shout.
Good choice. Yeah.
What a good one to finish you off.
Well, you're welcome. Finish off the year on a high. So that was it. That's it, all done. Episode 23. Yeah. My favourite number, 23, by the way, my lucky number. Thought I'd mention that. It's been great, Brian. Another year over.
We should
Where's the West John Lennon song, wasn't it? Yeah. So this is Christmas. We won't do that. But anyway, that was it. Done? 23. We've done a lot of podcasts, I tell you. Been to a few gigs. We got together a couple of times. That was nice. Right. Anyway, thanks everyone for listening. Happy Christmas and a very healthy, happy new year to all our listeners. And we'll see you all next year.
Yep. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Best wishes for 2022. Check us out on social media. We are on Facebook. Our Twitter hashtag is @FTATPods. We'll get the show out in the next few days. If you haven't subscribed to the show on Apple Podcasts, please do that. Tell your friends. The more people that know about the show, the more reviews that we get. Just helps us. But for those people who listen and have been listening this year, thank you. And if you've got any suggestions at all for any topics for us in 2022, send us a message on our Facebook page or Twitter. Is Kelvin still doing Twitter for us?
Occasionally, when he feels like it. Yeah. No, he is.
Anyway,
he's doing a good job. Bless him.
He's doing a great job. On that note, have a great Christmas and New Year. Matt, see you soon.
You too, Brian. All the best. Merry Christmas. Bye, everyone.